You ready?
Let's do this. Stories are soul food. Number whatever.
Fresh off of Nate's Batman extravaganza from the last
Batman extravaganza.
People did seem to enjoy that. Okay, here we go. So we're coming in today with this will be very interesting to everybody, but I didn't know that the Pixar movie had even released. And yet we had Elio, apparently the name of that, coming out with a big box office FWAP. Yeah.
FWAP.
Yeah, I think, was it 20 million? Yeah, 21 million for a movie that cost 250.
Was it 250?
Yeah.
I thought it was 150, but either way,
let me check.
Either way, lots of money.
250 according to the NYT.
250 in production, or is that like marketing spend?
That's okay. all of it, yeah.
Man, well, the marketing was horrifically bad.
That's what I was gonna say. Is if I haven't even heard, I've watched as much Pixar.
Yeah,
as
you have
I can
kids.
Stomach. Yeah,
you were like an actual target buyer of tickets, which is taking your Rugrats to the theaters to see the new Pixar. It's kind of an incredible whiff.
Well, because we've actually been talking about, I wish there was a movie we could take him to see. Not that we'd take him to see Pixar again, but after their last couple.
Not without vetting.
Anyways, yeah, thoughts about that. I thought it would be fun to watch the trailer and get your thoughts on that. I use the word fun to mean
yeah.
many
Well,
different
we
things.
should definitely do that. I actually over the weekend watched Hail Caesar with some kids.
Okay.
I saw it when it came out a long time ago, and was like, I need to show them more Coen Brothers, so we checked that one out. And it is a funny little commentary on the madness of motion pictures, which has not stopped. The madness hasn't. Mm-hmm. But we are still, as an industry, we're still just doing bizarre things that won't necessarily make money. And somebody had to greenlight it.
Yeah.
Like somebody said yes, somebody approved, somebody wired funds, somebody moved $250 million.
So many funds.
In multiple tranches, I'm sure. And then it all just went away. Where did it go? Like, where did the $250 million go when you put it into a movie?
Yeah.
A lot of house payments in LA. I don't know where they actually were animating. I've not recently checked. But I'm sure somewhere with
Pixar's still in the US and exclusively, they say.
Yes, but where, like which state and with what tax incentives.
Right.
And so how much of that 250 was incentive tax dollars? But anyway, it's a mess. What a hot mess of an industry.
Yeah. I mean, is the rule usually divide in half for marketing? But it feels like they couldn't have spent that much and failed to reach.
Yeah, the rule, you often, like rule of thumb, you can say 1-to-1.
Yeah.
But if something's trying to be big, but not always, it's just ballpark.
But here's the thing before we watch the trailer. The thing they're taking away is they're saying, original films don't do well.
Right.
That's the takeaway.
Right. That's the lesson we should all learn, is that only Marvel and reboots
be completely derivative in everything you do.
Yeah, because my daughters on their podcast did Lilo and Stitch, and that one made a ton of money. So, and it's BAD. So, if they are to be believed, and they are to be believed. So,
your daughters,
have we launched their podcast yet?
I think it will launch before this episode.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah,
good. At least now it has to.
Yep.
But yeah, they tore it apart. And of course, How to Train Your Dragon.
That's what Elio's competing against. They're saying, it's competing against a very strong How to Train Your Dragon.
It's competing against a shot-for-shot
live action remake, live action, and then also competing against 28 years later.
28 years later, and then Sinners is coming out of theaters, and that was original, and that did really well. 28 years later, I don't know how it performed, but it obviously has the franchise and the underlying IP. Obviously, they should just be remaking things constantly.
Yeah. Well, here we go. I'm just going to pull this up and they'll show it on the screen.
We're real high production value. We're going to just do this on Brian's laptop.
That's what
Let's do it. This is the trailer for Elio.
Oh, hold on.
Elio, skipping school. I don't know if this is boundary testing or sleep regression or which one of these is you?
I don't know, but I think that one is you.
You need to make friends.
I went here too when I was a kid.
You might not believe me right now, but this will be good for you.
All I ever wanted was to find a place to fit in. It's really happening! Whoa!
Welcome. Allow me to adjust your gravity.
I'm fine.
Gravity on. Can I trouble you for a DNA sample?
Sure. Where do you want it? Ew! Wow.
Everyone's eager to meet you.
I am the Universal User's Manual. I contain the secrets of the universe. What is the meaning of life?
Who would win in a fight? One gorilla with a baseball bat or 10 chimps?
The gorilla.
Okay, I think we're good there.
So derivative.
Even down to Twitter battles,
Yeah.
like who's going to win in the fight. I thought that was funny.
The originality there is incredible.
That the writers are, and then I figured they put Queen into the soundtrack so that we would be like, parents would be like, oh, I love that song. I don't know why. I was like, why else does Queen go in here? Why did it lose you right away? Explain the obvious to me, Nate.
Stressed out mom in like fatigues.
Yeah, army fatigues.
So I think that's about where they lost me.
Okay.
I don't like the eye bandage either.
That just feels like such a, because you're trying to show your characters has a need, right? And then instead of actually showing, you're just going to go ahead and slap a semi embarrassing thing on them. I guess I'm trying to think through this here.
Like why? Why that? I don't know. I don't know, Brian. I can't answer for Pixar. But it's just, yeah.
You got to the part where he first meets this little alien guy who turns out to be the kid of the bad alien. And so
don't you mean the misunderstood alien?
I think so. Actually.
I mean, the odds are, how on earth could they at Pixar these days have a bad alien?
Yeah.
With a kid, it would just be somebody's been sent down a wrong road, been on a hard journey, a little misunderstood.
Same thing as this kid.
Yeah. So, I mean, a bad alien would be way more interesting.
Yeah, I guess concept here of needy kid at camp finding his true home among the aliens. That's kind of a flop right out of the.
But are they illegal aliens? That's the question.
Nate, you're not allowed to ask. You're not allowed to ask that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just he's doesn't belong around others and fits in with aliens.
And then when they really want to make you know that he doesn't belong among others, it's because there's other kids playing football. Those are some weird football kids.
That's some toxic masculinity right there. I wonder if they're trying to do the inverted ET thing. But I'd have to watch more to know that. But I don't want to watch more. And
it's
then
almost
neither
like
apparently does America or the rest of the world, because 20 million for a Pixar movie opening weekend is pretty rough.
Yeah, and I love that they threw in Inside Out too. Just like, hey, remember we made this
We are
sequel?
the studio that made Inside Out 2, as opposed to we are the studio that made Toy Story, Incredibles, Finding Nemo, and Ratatouille.
And of course,
WALL-E, the most relevant right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And then obviously Inside Out 2 made that $1.6 billion. So I think that's why they're putting it in there. But
yeah. The world just doesn't tick the way I want it to a lot of times.
Yeah.
So there you go, Brian. I don't know what to say about Elio other than I doubt I'll ever watch it.
Yeah.
Ever. I'll try to make my daughter watch it and tell me about it.
There we go.
That'll be
Lucia
how I
and
deal
Amira
with
bite
this.
the bullet. Yeah, running through that list, obviously Frozen is up there. Lion King is up there on all-time lists.
Yep.
And then the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yep.
And then
courtesy of Jack Black.
He did it. Just his Peaches.
Bowser, yeah.
Just his Peaches song.
The Peaches song did it. I'm not just.
It's the only part from the movie that
that was
that I quote.
Yes.
But of course, the very top of the list is a movie that came out this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it because it's in China.
Just do it.
Ne Zha 2.
Ne
a
Zha?
sequel. NEZHA 2. So it's a sequel as well. Original IP doesn't work, Nate.
No, it doesn't. I mean, how big was Ne Zha 1?
I don't know.
Massive.
I can't find it on my list. I'll have to check.
Are those a list of biggest ever?
Yeah, I just was curious.
Of all time?
Like, let's just see why they keep thinking.
I mean, Ne Zha 2 is over $2 billion right now, I think.
Yeah, $2.2 billion.
Yeah.
It helps when you have that many people in your country.
Yeah, I don't think it did. It's not like it did a bunch in the US, but I think it probably matched Elio.
Yeah.
And then in India and China, it crushed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to check real quick on Ne Zha 1 because that'll be interesting for us. Box Office Mojo.
I mean, this is why DreamWorks opened Oriental DreamWorks and started doing Kung Fu Panda and everything else over there. That's because that market's massive.
Yeah. So it's Ne Zha 1 open. Its domestic opening was $1 million. No, sorry. Lifetime gross now in China is 719 million.
Okay. Worthy of a sequel.
Yeah.
That more than doubled that.
And they've tripled it
Yeah.
with the follow-up.
Nice. Well done. Well done, you. Who knows if it's good, but
Let's just compare the pitch here. Born with unique powers, a boy is recruited to fight demons and save the community that fears him.
there you go.
I mean, versus boy.
Classic heroic journey. And he's misunderstood in that people find him to be too
Powerful.
toxically masculine.
As opposed to Elio.
Elio, who's got one little eye patch, I'm sure.
And doesn't get along well with other kids because
Is
his
scared of
mom
people
is
who-
stressed out of her mind.
Yes, her mom is stressed out incredibly, and he doesn't get along with boys who play physical games. So, yeah, it's a little different.
He does
a little
get along
opposite
well
land.
with the aliens, though.
And of course, that's also built on, well, it's built on mythology. That's a mythological character, Ne Zha, but I don't know how to say it either.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they're tapping into something that's like ancient, heroic, classic journey,
Mm-hmm.
and then hanging on to some of the things that you really need to hang on to. Where heroes are scary, and they're not. I have signed many a book. Every hero needs to be part nightmare.
Yeah.
Like there's just a little bit there. And and some shoot 'em up, like feature films, understand that. It's like they push a guy too far, some nice guy who's going to be heroic, and then he's got to tap into that dark past and really become something.
Well, Elio uses the alien's kid as a bargaining chip. So that's pretty dark.
Good job, Elio. And that's I'll go with that one. And we were talking about Ashtown right before this, but this is why I actually have earlier in the series I have prophecies of the dragons being afraid of Cyrus, and then those are fulfilled in the Silent Bells when just they sense the presence of T, like re-entering space time, and then he is the one who's wielding the angel of death the way Moses did, and that's scary. Like this is dangerous and destructive and everything else. And of course I play with things to try to offset that. But
I'm now going to make you watch the Ne Zha trailer.
Okay,
just
let's do
the
it.
Opening of that.
And let's just hope it's not absolute drivel.
Ne Zha 2 trailer, English.
Okay.
Well, here's the question. The option is English by AI. I'm not even sure they did it. They don't care about us. Okay.
哪吒，好久不见呐！你愿与老夫一同出征否？
这家我最擅长。
Fighting is what I do
我
best.
乃哪吒三太子。
瞧，一身正气。
能降妖来，化作尸，排斥，收你们来了！今日到此除奸恶，尔等妖孽快受死！
蒙族犯下
pretty bad,
滔
Nick.
天罪行，
我们报仇雪恨的千载良机到了。
活了！
我活不活无所谓，我只有你死。
哪吒，你战力非凡，定可当平龙宫。给我！
Yeah, man. Everything good and right and pure. All the true, good, and beautiful.
Man, that's worse than I don't know why it was worse than I was expecting, because
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
the
But
World of Warcraft, I guess, did well in China too. So
at the same time,
it's still better.
it's still better. It's still like it's actually
I think confident is what I would say.
yeah. So while it's definitely got a bunch of MSG on there and some synthetic cheese flavoring,
And the
a
animation
lot of
is
it,
really poor. But
it's like I can see the appeal. Like it really is just kind of Kung Fu Panda, but with demigods. Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
I can imagine watching that. I can't imagine watching Elio.
well, what's interesting, think of the imaginative touches that were kind of interesting. They had that giant snapping turtle,
Yep.
which immediately made me be like, that's kind of cool. Same thing with, they even had a Naga with multiple arms. You know,
Yep.
there's like and I'm thinking back to Elio, what did that trailer have? I don't know, it had a robot that stuck its finger up his nose to get a DNA sample. I mean, it's like the imaginative things here. There's not a lot of purchase in Elio, and this one,
Yeah.
at
I
least-
mean, if I saw both of those trailers, I'm not going to see either in the theater,
yeah.
but I might end up watching whatever it's called.
Ne Zha.
Nausea.
Yeah, Ne Zha.
Ne Zha. I might end up watching Ne Zha on an airplane. You know, I would at least check it out and see what's going on. It's $2 billion of success on that film. So I would want to unpack it a little bit more. I don't think I could determine that from the trailer. Because you can't get to 2 billion even in a large population without grassroots consumer-led marketing. So somebody who
Sure,
watches
can you
it,
just divide it by, I guess population-wise, can you divide by 3 and get an equivalent movie in the U.S., or does it not really work like that?
I don't think it really does, but I think that you
Still
could
does.
say,
It's still
Like-
700 million.
yeah, I mean,
US.
it's what you can do is you can look at big movies in the U.S. that were big over there. You know, you can compare. The thing that's odd is like, okay, it didn't get much box office at all from the U.S. and has been a monster over there. But I really would actually have to watch it and unpack like what made people watch it and then tell somebody else you have to see this.
Mm-hmm.
So I know how that worked with the Minecraft movie. I know how that worked with Super Mario. How did it work with this in a foreign marketplace that didn't end up kind of like backflowing into success in the U.S.?
Yeah.
So
This did feel like it added a different ingredient every single second of that trailer. You know?
more flavor.
Yeah, they're just like,
more.
no matter what, this
flavor.
will be flavorful. It will not.
But a naughty, mischievous, little warrior.
Yeah. Who
Like-
stands for righteousness. I think he shouted that. He shouted that one time. I stand for righteousness.
Asian Loki, who stands for righteousness. Yeah, I'll read more about it. I'll look into that a little bit more because it's interesting, but it's obviously not translated to the American marketplace.
Right.
So
I actually read, I think it might be the Condor Trilogy, which is an enormous Japanese fantasy series that was Chinese fantasy series that was then translated in the U.S. And I remember having that same sort of feeling of like, oh, I get why this didn't translate to the U.S. market. It's just weird, like
Yeah.
really, really weird stuff. And some fun moments, tons of battle, and then sort of
yeah,
house of
non sequiturs.
yeah, tons
Yeah.
of non sequiturs and weird descriptions, but still $2.2 billion.
Have you had any anime series that you like?
I've dipped into a few, but I'm not ready for the anime discussion yet. I have all the.
Do you have any that you tease it? Do you have any that you like?
No, I don't. I mean, I watched the standalone movies. I haven't watched Death Note. My friends were really into back in high school. Were into Death Note a lot, and then Pokemon was when I was in grade school, the original Pokemon show, but not a ton.
Yeah. Okay. We'll save that one. We'll
Yeah.
save an anime conversation for later.
I mean, do you have an anime?
What else are we talking about, Brian?
Yeah, I mean the other thing we're going to jump into is just some other questions on what the other studios are doing and try to find out why it's so lackluster. I mean, we talked about Illumination. That's Super Mario Bros. And Minions and Despicable Me. And their latest movie that they dropped, I think, was that Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Did you hear about that?
Mm-mm.
That was another standalone movie that just stunk it up huge. I never heard of it. And then DreamWorks, obviously, its top grossing is just Shrek all the way. And then they did Migration. My kids did watch Migration on Netflix, I think. But did you see Migration?
It's just the duck one, right?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a weird moment. Like it really is a weird moment where just like pretty significant decay in a lot of places. And it's going to be odd because I think especially as AI surges and as AI figures, people figure out how to actually make stuff with it, then it's going to be interesting to watch the gauntlet get thrown down to human creators and see what they are capable of doing as they've been spiraling and decaying for a while. Then here comes this existential threat.
Because it could just make anything for anybody.
Yeah. And then
at a not a palatable level for anybody who knows anything, but a palatable level for social media.
Right. So I mean the both trailers we just watched, there's nothing in there that AI couldn't do. It's not that's not super hard, for where this is going. But I really do think that AI is kind of like lab diamonds. And, people are believing the lie the alchemists believe. If they figured out how to turn lead into gold, that it would be, worth exactly the same. But provenance matters and narrative background matters, and something spat out by a lab is just never going to be over time valued in the same way that something that took a huge amount of effort to dig out of the earth, will be valued. So as far as this goes, I think Hollywood is uniquely vulnerable to AI right now, and they're so far up a creek and they're losing so much money that they're going to push their chips all in on it. There's going to be a huge amount of AI work that's done, and then there will be people who are trying to shoot on film. They're trying to do old stuff, and even just shooting on digital and not using AI in camera effects. Like all this old school stuff is going to show up and be a lot more valuable than it's ever been. But there will be a huge die-off from people who know how to do that and are trying to do that in the interim. So the industry is already pretty vulnerable. And then you bring in this new tool that
what's interesting too is you've had to watch every single company adopt a position on AI that shows that they see its potential and they're going to be investing
kiss
in
a
it.
ring, yeah.
Yeah, which has been really interesting because I know that I've talked to a number of people and I've been trying to find out how would AI help.
How would it help us?
How would it help us? And obviously there's some small areas, but AI feels like an intern to me that you can't trust.
Yeah.
And
an intern that will lie. Constantly and effectively.
And why do I have to establish a policy on an intern that will lie? Like why is that the thing that's going to transform my business?
Did you need to have a policy on Photoshop?
Right.
No,
I didn't. We'll use it when it's there. But we'd mentioned this briefly, but I think it's worth getting into. That study from MIT came out over those 54 people who'd been using AI to write essays or not over the course of 4 months. They had neural die-off or a lack of brain energy by almost 50%, like cognitive function declined over the course of that 4 months.
Yep.
50%.
I mean, it's not hard. If you immobilized your arm and didn't use your bicep for that long, your bicep would have that level of die-off.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
So like atrophy is atrophy. And the way that our brains are atrophying rapidly courtesy of social media and smart devices already, and then you add this extra layer, the opportunity for pretty catastrophic retardation is just available to everybody. Like it's
And we're all being encouraged.
And
to
the
do
only
it.
thing you could do to make it worse would be to smoke pot while using AI and doom scrolling Instagram. So, so that's about it. I think that's like the trifecta of modern rot.
Yeah.
But it's
What did it say too? I mean, I think it said that obviously 4 out of 5 of these people couldn't quote a single line from anything they'd written.
quote unquote written. Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. You didn't write it.
Yep. And I have friends who have in corporations who are interacting with people who send an AI email, an AI prompted email. And the thing they're very frustrated by is the fact that there was no communication. So I didn't actually hear from you.
Oh, so someone
Like-
will have an AI generated email, press send.
And then, then you receive it and you're like, but the person who sent it, whose name is on this, probably doesn't remember any of this.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Just did the study.
So they didn't really communicate from themselves. I don't really know if this is accurate. Is this an accurate reflection of what they think? Do they even remember this was sent? Do they know what it says? You have to call them and go have the conversation anyway. Like, it's not actual communication between people. So
It's more just
It just
checking
isn't.
boxes, I guess, at this point.
so you were talking about an intern. Imagine adding a translator to your normal human communication between you and other English speakers. And then make that translator unreliable. And then make yourself incapable of remembering what they said. so it's going to be great.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the things we'd expect. The people who are evaluating these essays couldn't actually tell the difference between the two, like on a level. They couldn't identify, this is AI, this isn't reliably. But they did say number of these feel technically perfect. So they're technically flawless but soulless.
Yeah.
Or they're technically accurate but meaningless. They're just missing
Something's missing.
humanity.
Yeah.
And that was interesting from, so that's both the creator side, it stinks. From the receiving side, you can tell.
I don't think AI will struggle to catch up to human creators. Because human creators are notoriously bad. And we've gotten really, really lazy.
Okay.
And so this is that moment where a lot of chickens are going to come roost for a lot of people, where they have given into the mental atrophy. They have actually not done it the long, hard, better way. They don't know how to do the woodworking now. They have a little 3D robot printer that'll come carve the wood for them. And they have been that's been going on so long that they can't remember how to do it. They don't even have the ability to do it anymore. And so you have all these other crutches and props and things people have been using for a while, tools they've been using to sort of get them into a place where they force their way into the writer's room of CSI Tampa, or they're pumping out grocery store romance novels, or they're pumping out borderline pornographic romance novels for $1 on Amazon Kindle.
At the level of a human creator.
And so you think about most of current human creativity, most of it. So just the bulk of it is not good. Like the bulk of it is vulnerable, and the bulk of it AI could match.
Yeah. So
there's no reason to think it couldn't.
Thinking about like Mr. Beast videos, right? Creative videos. What is the only reason that makes those, as they get more produced, the only thing that distinguishes them from AI is the fact that, I don't know, it really happened. He really drove the Lamborghini into the wall. And then the questions of like, did he really, it is, I think you're right that we're already at the line where this idea that, oh no, it won't replace, we've already replaced narrative stories with Mr. Beast. And now we're replacing creator content with AI creator content. That doesn't seem like a big switch.
No.
Or Dude Perfect, pick like, as much as I enjoy seeing them make the giant basketball shot.
Yeah. It's actually going to be, it's going to be really hard for people to convince others that it was not AI generated.
Yeah.
When you catch something really cool, it's going to be difficult to validate and establish the provenance of something that as having happened or not having actually happened.
I've already seen these desperate nature photographers on Facebook, who are like, I took this photo, it's real. And everyone in the comments is like, the AI.
AI.
For sure this is AI.
False.
No way you got this heron.
False. AI. Worst AI image I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like AI.
It's a real bird. I got the bird.
I got the bird. Talking to a buddy who's in another corner of content creation from where I am, but is similar. He was talking about the extreme need for him to include human elements known only to him in what he does, and just like making sure that he's trying to turn up the personal connection with the consumer and turn up
like a human fingerprint.
Instead of trying to remove himself as the artist, he needs to actually remain present as the artist more and more and more. And, to kind of like validate the legitimacy as the art, as human art for the viewer, which is really interesting.
Does that mean like intentional errors or more of a secret level of digital fingerprint?
This is more of a resolution, and he has some ideas of how to do it, but
I see. Yeah.
But it is a little more human error, a little more show the strings on the puppets rather than have everybody worry that it was AI generated. So no, this really was me.
James Gurney does that all the time. Where everybody went into Dintopia Illustrator.
Yep.
He went in. There was this thing where everybody at the front of their videos would do the opening image of like YouTube or whatever, and he made sure he would do all of those out of clay, and then pull actual strings to make them all move. So it'd be like the YouTube logo out of clay.
Yeah.
And it's funny that now you could do that with AI, but it's that sort of thing of just like, hey, the James Gurney is obviously kind of the illustrator's illustrator. Everything he does is based off of clay puppets that he's drawn and got the exact angles just right. So he can do that because of his, but it is interesting. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. It'll be hard. So
what's interesting,
here we go.
Yeah. Of course, what also was in that study is some data that supports the idea that for the top level, the genius level, you can use AI, still benefit from it, and get way faster and better. So that was another flip part of that study later on down in it. And I don't know, what do you think about that? To me, that just seemed like the exception that proves the rule. Yeah, sure. If you took, I guess I'm trying to think through, if you take some of my favorite authors and gave them an AI tool, to me, it almost doesn't even seem like that would affect what they're doing. I don't know what they would use it for. Except,
I mean, I'm trying to think of, I've tested it a couple times. I tried to get it to outline Ashtown, and I was looking around for my outlines in the first 2 books, and I was like, I wonder if AI could do this. No, it actually can't.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Could I get a printout of like total, like the synopsis of the first 3 books?
Mm-hmm.
And could I, have bullet points for every single scene through the first 3? And the answer is no, you cannot. But it's the kind of thing that you could have hired. You could have hired somebody to do way back. A lot of people have assistants. A lot of novelists have assistants.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that you could easily hire somebody to help you do that, and kind of like create a map of past work or something like that. But if I'm trying to iterate outlines or possibilities or solve a problem or anything like that, I'm not going to AI. And that's, if I did, like, I could see, somebody told me to brainstorm titles on AI, somebody in Hollywood. And I was like, that's interesting. I could see, like, it's like looking in a thesaurus or something and just like spit out as many words that mean this as you possibly can. So having a sounding board like that, I can imagine that being useful. I can imagine it being really useful in fully digitized art forms. And so that's the danger too, like the vulnerability of that art form. So any kind of music production, that has been fully digitized, I think it's going to be really helpful / really destructive. So it can make an
really
artist should
can't
be
tell the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you have an artist who can far more rapidly make a demo and make a great demo. I think that's a great tool. I think like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. I'm going to have a demo. This is what I'm going to do. I'm playing with different tempos and different instrumentation and stuff. And that's not that far away from what producers already were doing, So it's a little bit weird, but it's not that different.
Yeah.
And I think that the speed with which you could make a demo song, it's like, that's great. You know, but did you become a better or worse musician?
Yeah.
A better or worse producer? A producer who's like, oh, I got to grab my violins. I got to go grab these specific violins. And he has a lot of control directly over where those are inserted exactly. It might just be faster to not use AI if you start really being specific and still controlling of it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you're letting go of it and letting it do some creativity on its own, like where does it put the violins? Then you're kind of in danger.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just going to have to swallow this supposedly terrible reductio of like, but if I use AI, I won't be faster at this particular area. And you're like, yeah, that might be.
Yep.
That you might actually be slower on the copy generation side of this.
Yeah.
Marketing.
And I have friends who are using it heavily and really love it. And you know, that's great. I think 10 April fully supports it. I actually think that it's gonna bite him. And it's gonna bite lots of artists. So I really do.
Well, 10 April just says like, hey, if you can't differentiate from it, you don't deserve to be creating.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a pretty meaningful sentiment.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I've yet to find any use where it could help me. And I know that the way I used to remember phone numbers is now gone. Like I can't remember phone numbers now. I just have contacts in my phone.
Yeah.
But the number of numbers that I had memorized is pretty wild. Mm-hmm. Directions, the ability to give people directions and follow directions, that's gone. Yeah. You know, it's like, did we really need that? Well, we might in the apocalypse, but it'll come back.
The atrophy is real.
The atrophy is already real.
Yeah.
You know, and we know that. We see that with smartphones. We can see the atrophy in socialization and social discernment that comes from social media. That atrophy is real.
Elio is probably a social media kid.
Yeah. So you have that atrophy, and then now on top of that, you add AI. But if you have an undiscerning public and you have not sophisticated creators, like you have people who've not been creating at the highest level they possibly can.
Yeah.
They've not been pushing themselves. They've been picking the lowest hanging fruit for a long time. That's their goal. They just want, the easiest money they can make. AI is it's gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be all over the place. And then there's gonna be that short film that people are like, oh, it's amazing. We love that it's AI. It's like shot on iPhone. It'll be, entirely AI generated. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it also is funny to me that we hear the exception. Oh, actually, geniuses can still use AI and not have the negative brain.
Oh, then I'm fine then.
That's me.
That'll be me. That's the same thing as like, if you reach a level where you justify an assistant, a full-time assistant, helping you with everything all the time, and that doesn't make you dumber.
Yeah.
Like, because you're still operating at capacity. It's just you have somebody else who's now operating at capacity just with your leftovers. Then sure. But we could run the same exact thing and say, and if a full-time assistant would make you dumber.
Yeah.
If a full-time assistant wrote your emails, are you going to remember what the email said? No, you're not going to remember that. That full-time assistant thing is going to be decay for most people. But there's going to be some people who rise to such a level of capacity that there's enough spillover, for an assistant. So anyway, I think of it that way, and like an unreliable full-time assistant.
Yeah. I think it's important too for us to jump back around to your initial take on ChatGPT, which was lots of demons. Potential for demons.
Lots of demons in the AI world. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Lots of hijinks incoming.
Right. And just several articles in all major news sources talking about people who've just been pursuing interdimensional communication. And of course, the materialists among us say, yeah, they're just the robots lying to them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the robot's lying to them for sure. But the question is why and how.
Okay.
There are other entities in this world, and to think that they would not take advantage of something like this is ridiculous. Of course they would.
Sure. I mean, it actually provides more of a definition or an explanation for that hideous strength level head talking than C.S. Lewis even had.
Yeah.
Lewis had a little bit of magic there. Where it was just like,
actual demonism. So he talks about scientism always becomes actual demonism.
Yeah.
that's kind of where we are. We're at that inflection point. So I think we will see new and weirder demonic activity than we've ever seen.
Yikes.
Because we will have taken a Ouija board to scale,
Yeah.
global scale. So it's gonna be a little interesting. But I can't imagine the fact that 1/3 of the heavenly host was cast down, the fact that we have all these influences, principalities, powers, thrones, dominations, all these things around. It's not like there's tons and tons and tons of them. And it's not like they run earth. They don't. Christ came and he rules. But then we built this thing.
And he imprisoned
That's super
most
easy.
of them.
Yeah. That's super easy to steer. And why would they not be involved? They're not dumb. This is a huge opportunity. So as people just sort of blindly place their faith in this box that will talk to them, like, yeah, I mean, why would you not really, really steer and abuse this?
Yeah, it's the abdication that I think seems to be the constant across multiple levels. So social media abdicating parts of your life, friendship, interaction, happiness.
Yeah.
Same thing with ChatGPT. If you're abdicating responsibility and work as opposed to a different way of
Somebody else lifted the weight for you, then something else got strong while you got weak. So it's like when you're not actually doing the lifting, when you're not doing the mental work, you are getting weaker. Like, because we're always getting weaker or stronger. And
and that seems to be the real challenge to lay down to any kids or creators who are trying to get good at their craft. It's like, why are you letting something else benefit from whatever creative work you're doing right now? Or actually, I guess nobody benefit. Why?
Get the benefit.
Get the benefit.
Do the work, get the benefit. I am curious. I do think we'll be seeing plenty of popcorn that's AI generated almost completely. And we'll see the removal of a lot of sub and low creatives from a lot of different art forms. I think music producers, visual effects artists, graphic designers, we'll see a lot of the not great ones. A lot of the medium, the mids, and even up to like low high, I think will get eliminated.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. If you're an artist out there, just get good. Like, get really good. Major on being good. And major on getting really, really good where you are especially and uniquely human. It's like that's where you need to get strong, where you can't really be imitated. If you are like competing with AI in its sweet spot.
Efficiency.
Efficiencies in digital art forms, digital creation.
Searching, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you're going to lose. You're going to lose there. But if you read the ancients, the classics, like become broad, become intelligent, become creative, and really be human in your approach to creativity, then I think you'll have an advantage.
Not a huge ringing endorsement, but I think you'll have an advantage. Yeah,
I think you'll have an advantage.
Best shot at it.
I think you will. Take a shot.
Yep.
I think that, and guys like Tolkien and Lewis would not have used it.
Right.
They just would not have. So
Tolkien wouldn't have said, "Hey, create Kenya for me," the Elven language or however we say that, and give me the rules and then translate this for me.
Nope. No, he was definitely a little more hands-on than that. And this also, in terms of technology, he mistrusted technology so much that when he was given a tape recorder to record something into, he refused to do it until he had read the Lord's Prayer into it. And
that's true. He wasn't just being a silly goose.
Yeah. He actually totally mistrusted that. That process. And so the Lord's Prayer was the first thing he recorded. And then he actually, I think, recorded Ride of the Rohirrim and some other stuff that was great. It's fun to listen to. But it's a really weird, both of them are Luddites. Lewis and Tolkien both would be a lot more cautious and a lot more cynical and a lot more jaded than many of our current leaders are about where this is going.
What I hear is we can actually get Tolkien to read whatever we want. Just plug it into AI
now
machine.
see, he should not have given us his voice sample, right?
he knew better, and he did it anyway.
And he did it anyway. And now we can make him say whatever we want. Yeah, perfect.
Well, there we are.
And I have used AI. I'm trying to think where, but I've used AI for a digital audio correction.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's been handy.
The nonfiction authors that I work with often use it as a better Google. It's faster, helps you find the sources.
Even though it makes stuff up.
You then go double check. That's a step you don't get to skip.
Climbing nasturtiums, eat rodents and birds.
Oh, yeah.
I asked, well, I tried to Google. I was trying to Google most decorated pilot in World War I. And I got an entirely fictitious person.
You made one up entirely.
In AI. Yeah.
The robots just have no respect for the actual cool ones.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Let's all see together. Let's all just hold our breath and wait and see what happens with AI. If we look at the kind of movies we were talking about at the beginning and looking at those trailers, that will be heavily AI influenced in no time, because that's the level it already is. It's already, down there. So I don't know why we wouldn't expect just massive amounts of glut incoming for that kind of creation.
Prognosis.
Bad.